see you after
Hello.
Kochi.
Nice to see
Thank
you too, Abra.
thank you so much for making the time out for this conversation. A conversation I was really looking forward to.
Yes.
So
So,
let's let's begin, Aaron. Please tell
yes.
people about yourself.
Well, very easy, simple story. I migrated to Australia in 1975. I was born in Calcutta, and I studied in St. Xavier's and obtained a BCom degree there. Came to Australia, and then I obtained a master's in HR and human resources management. I've always worked in Australia within human resources management and in the private sector, in the public sector, in different types of industries, in the tourism and hospitality industry, in the actual industrial training area, in the health industry, but mainly in as an HR practitioner. And in the last several years, I think it was 4 years, I even lectured in human resources management in the Central Institute of Technology here in Perth. So yeah, so that's in a nutshell the story. I don't really need to elaborate any further. It's pretty simple. It's very straightforward. I dabble a little bit in writing. I've authored a book. The book is called The Benign Mentor, and it actually features a grandfather with his grandson, taking his grandson around Western Australia, traveling. And on the way, while they travel to different places within Western Australia, the grandfather recounts stories about his past and narratives about that relate to him in his previous life in India, and it features a number of different anecdotes, including a ghost story and so on. So very Indian, but it seeks to promote a link between the past in terms of a migrant grandfather and the present in terms of his grandson who's born and bred in Australia. So that's a nutshell about the story. So that's what I dabble in, and it's interesting. I've been involved with the Australian Anglo-Indian Association almost since its infancy here in Perth. I used to be the president. I was the president on two separate occasions, and I'm still involved with the association and the community. I find it very fulfilling and very rewarding, especially when you feel that you're communicating, associating with people of similar thoughts and similar views. Yeah, I find that extremely rewarding.
Now, how was your experience at the Kochi Anglo-Indian International Reunion? How was it?
I enjoyed the camaraderie more than anything else. The opportunity of seeing people who are now residing in Canada and in the UK and the US, people who some of them I knew in the past, some of them went to the same school that I did, and so it was nice to meet and mix and mingle with them. I think the program was good, and there were certain aspects that were very good. I liked the symposium. I liked some of the other uh, discussion opportunities that we had. However, I noted that there wasn't many young people participating in the conversations and in the deliberations, and I would have liked to have seen more young people sitting there making a contribution. In fact, telling us what their perspective is in terms of being Anglo-Indian and in terms of where they, as members of the Anglo-Indian community, are heading. I would have liked to have obtained more insight into that aspect, which I didn't believe that we got enough of, if you know what I mean.
Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely right. Now, Errol, you are in the Anglo-Indian Perth, right? In
Yes.
Perth Union Association. How many young people do you have in the association as of now? Is there a lot?
We not a great deal. In fact, that's one of the banes of the community here in Australia, in the sense that while people like me who are first generation migrants, or even second generation migrants, still have a strong connection with the mother country, India, and the way we as a community lived in India, the railway institutes and things like that. The community, the children who are born here, don't have that link, don't have that. They don't have the knowledge of having lived in that type of environment, and so the connection, therefore, for them with the past, and in particular the past in India, is not as strong. And they are, in fact, the way I see it, they are more in sync with the society and culture, of their in their countries of adoption where they live now, than with India. And the result is that they embrace values, and cultural aspects of their country in the country in which they were born, rather than relate to the the heart the heartstrings, or the tug, or the heart tugs of their parents, in connection with their life in India. So that's what I find.
Is there a way which gain as a global Anglo-Indian network could talk to some of the youngsters who are interested in knowing about their roots or have questions or would want to kind of understand more about it? Could we kind of talk to them, some of them?
It would be useful, Aubrey, if, for instance, conversations such as I'm having with you, and in fact, indeed, the conversations that I've seen about seven or seven broadcasts that you've done where you've interviewed different people. If we could have a dedicated channel like you have again, and we are able to promote that through YouTube, for example, and have young people view it and see for themselves what people are discussing, then you would probably gain some interest among young people in saying, "Hi, I want to know a little more about this because it relates to my ancestry, and it relates to where my parents came from, or my grandparents came from." And in that way, you would connect with the young people who show that interest and enthusiasm.
So one of the areas is, so you could just forward our YouTube channel that we have. It's called the Global Anglo Indian on YouTube.
Yeah,
We have our own
yeah,
channel there, right?
yeah,
And one thing that we're trying to do is have kind of a small roundtable with 4, 5, Anglo Indians from Australia, from the UK, from Canada, from the States, wherever Anglo Indians are, and try to kind of understand, their perspective, right?
yeah.
Now, uh, if we were to do something, how do you think we should go about it? Should we kind of uh, how do we talk to the youth there? Is there anybody who's interested? Have people asked you questions about their roots?
There are always people who are asking questions. I think the important thing is for us to identify people, and I have to confess that I don't believe that we've done it in a cogent, constructive fashion here. And it's something that we need to look at, and we need to consider. There are obviously, I'm certain, young people who are keen and who are interested, and maybe we, through our association, can put that information out, and seek to get people who might be keen to be involved, young people who are keen to be involved. We can do that certainly through our
We
through our channels.
so the for the we need I do need to talk to a lot of Australian people as well, Australian Anglo Indians, and I want to talk to a lot of youth from there. right? So, and
Yes,
if possible, please do,
yes,
tell them that this is what it is. You have the details, you have a website, send everything across, right?
yes,
Now,
yes,
uh, we have mission, like you have Melbourne 29 happening from 3 years from
yes,
now.
yes.
What do you hope to see there?
It would be nice to have a mix of young people who are from Australia, and indeed, if we can get some people who from India, some leaders among the young people, youth, to interact and talk about um, what is the community, what are the challenges facing the community, how do we keep the embers burning? I think that's the important thing, because to a very large degree, as I said, the challenge is that in with respect to the diaspora, the children are more in sync with the countries where they're living. So, but you inevitably get somebody who's interested in finding out more about his or her ancestry, and I think those are the important people to try and get hold of. Similarly, I mean, I know in India, for example, um, the India's been independent for 78 years now. That old um, not adage, is the old belief about the connection with Europeans is long gone. Is long gone. The current generation of young Anglo-Indians in India really don't have any relationship with what their ancestors or their European or British um, um, ancestors did, or they don't have that link anymore. So it's a different group of two different groups of people that we're
But
looking at.
sorry to cut in, but the reason I can understand why this is actually said is the same problem I had at Cochin, and I was trying to get across. This is, for anything to happen, there has to be something to happen so that you understand, and you want to know more about it. You're inquisitive, right?
Yeah,
Our community seems to be okay, fine, you have these associations, but a lot of people don't know about the associations. So a lot of people that I spoke to, they're not part of the association because they see a lot of politics, a lot of things that are moving in a way they don't agree with, or they don't feel they can connect with, right? So what we want to do from Gain is to kind of find these connecting points, and make sure you go to the right avenue, because I wouldn't be interested if this continues the way it is. I wasn't
mm,
I wasn't at all interested in what the Anglo-Indian Association was doing, or these people were doing. I wasn't, to be very honest with you. But after I started working in rural India with communities, with the Adivasi community, you kind of understand pain points of what is wrong with the community. We just can't keep saying they are not they don't identify with it. There must be a reason. How
yeah,
did that go wrong? So
yeah,
one of the reasons what we are trying to talk and have conversations is to know where it started going down. What's
mm,
the problem? How could we kind of restart and ignite that connect?
mm,
You know,
mm.
because trust me, out of 100 people, you would at least 80% will keep complaining.
Yeah, I
Or
agree. Yeah.
so secondly is Errol, is we need to have a much more worldly networked kind of thing coming in. So could you kind of help Gain in a way of spreading the word?
Yes, we can. We can do it through associations. We can certainly do it through our association, and we and I'm sure, uh, and I'm sure and certain that you will be talking to people who are other leaders within our community here, and I'm certain that they will say the same thing, that we can speak to people within the community and promote what GAIN is doing, but more importantly, um, try and get a commitment to participate in having a look at the YouTube videos. um, taking an interest in saying, okay, I'm keen to make a commitment towards furthering the importance of my community, or the position of my community in the international realm. I think that's what we have to do. And look, we've got a magazine. We can use the written word and talk about what you're doing, what Gain is doing, have articles about it. And there are several things that we can do. We start small, but we gradually need to um, to have a snowball effect, starting small.
Does your association have a kind of a youth leader or a youth wing or something like that?
No, it doesn't. We used to, but unfortunately, we don't at the moment. No, no.
Uh,
And
but
yeah.
would you have anybody in mind as of now? Say, for example, if I would want to talk to them, say 2 days from now or 3 days from now, could somebody be available?
I,
Would you?
not at the moment. I mean, I'd have to talk to people before I say yes, or give you their names, because obviously, I wouldn't want to volunteer anybody's name to you without necessarily having a chat with them beforehand, and ascertaining their readiness to be involved and to participate. But I'd like to do that first.
So, Errol, and the question I always end is with Errol, what can Gain do for you and what can you do for Gain? So, what could it be?
Well, I think for a start, what we can do is promote what Gain is doing, and growing the Anglo-Indian network. That is vitally important, and I believe that's the important thing. The other aspect to me is that my belief, a strong belief, that is that the future of the Anglo-Indian community is in India. It's not in Western countries, not in the diaspora. The future of the Anglo-Indian community lies in India. And what we need to do is how we, from the outside, can assist in igniting that flame, so that the community in India survives. In Australia, for example, there's so much intermarrying also taking place, where the community itself is merging with so many other communities that it gets enveloped in what we call Australian society broadly, and not Anglo-Indian, or not Italian, and not Greek, or not we become Australian because of intermarrying. My daughter's married a fifth generation Australian, so that's the other issue. So my view is that the future of the Anglo-Indian community is very much vested in India, and that's where we need to develop it and sustain it. That's the view that I have.
Thank you, Errol. Appreciate the time taken out. We're going to
No
work
worries.
on it, and really
Yes,
looking for us, forward to your support and how we can actually keep pushing this because this is really, really vital and push it in a sustainable manner.
yes,
Right, we need to get this out, and we do want to get to talk to more Anglo Indians in Perth if possible. If you can
yeah,
connect us to certain Anglo Indians, it would be amazing. That we really
yeah,
would do that
yeah. I
because
certainly
we want to celebrate this 22nd to the 28th. That is the Anglo Indian Aussie Week. That we want to put it out because then we follow it with the Canadian Week, like I said, and then
brilliant.
the UK Week. So
I'll,
yes,
I'll, I'll send you a few names on through my mobile phone, and I'll invite you to talk to them. In the meantime, what I will also do is get in touch with those respective people and let them know that to expect contact from you, Aubrey. I'd certainly like to do that. Thank you,
thanks,
Aubrey.
Errol. Appreciate the time taken out, and you
Pleasure.
have a great day. Thanks,
And
Errol.
you, thank you for contacting me. Thank you. All the very best.
Thanks.
All the best for Australia Week.